Hello y'all, it's Lucy. I was talking to myself for about 2 minutes. I didn't push the button effectively. You're not surprised about that. So anyway, I am here working on a doghouse. I don't have one completed. I've got one kind of in... Hello y'all, it's Lucy. Oh wait. I was talking to myself for about 2 minutes. I didn't Let me figure out where to get effectively. There. Whew. You know, you skip one whole week and then you get disoriented. Yes, I appreciate all the words about my uncle. My aunt is pretty old. I say that, she's pretty feisty too. She's like 80, and so it was just really difficult. My aunt and uncle were together for almost 60 years, married for almost 60 years. They were together for 60 years. And his last month was really hard, but he'd been sick for 4 years, and truthfully, he prepared everybody beautifully. And so at his service, after he passed, his service was incredible. He had a set of grandkids sing, and his son talked, and his pastor that he'd known for over 20 years spoke. So it was a very personal service that was very satisfying to be there. So anyway, my aunt's doing okay. I'm going to see her next week. I'm going to help her write thank you notes because she's got 1 million to write. Okay, so today we're going to finish this. This is my little version of it's going to be a little doghouse ornament. And I wanted a picture of some of my pets. I've had 2 dogs in the last few years, but I don't have good pictures. If you want to put a picture of your dog in it, you kind of need to get them like when they're, you know, looking good, where they're like posing for you. And I just didn't have any photos, and I really don't have good photos of my cats. I've got them like laying in funny positions and stuff, but I don't have a good one of them just sitting up looking like they're posing for a photo. So I'm going to use these little, let me see, it's Hagen, Renneker, something, little figures for my doghouse, and I got a kitty too. Kind of looks like Bill. So that's what I'm going to use. And I thought, wouldn't this be fun as a fundraiser for a humane society or something? You make some ornaments and then people can put their own dogs or cats or pets inside the doghouse or in front of the doghouse. So, okay, let me see. I see Michelle, Crystal, thank you, Tricia. And let me see. I think I've got everything. I'm doing cardboard. I wanted to see how it worked in cardboard. Cardstock's easier, but you know, I kind of like things to be really sturdy. So I'm gathering all my materials so I can show you. And I think I have enough. Now I'm going to switch lights. You know, I always struggle with this. Let me flip to my page. There you go. Those are the entries for the Christmas contest. I hope you will vote. You vote in 2 ways. You go to the Christmas contest video and scroll to the bottom, and you just make a comment on which house you like the best. And you can also vote on the village if you want. Oh good, Ben is here. Trusty assistant has arrived. And then, so I don't know which one I said, the YouTube comment or on my web page. And to do it on the web page, you have to go way to the bottom and you'll see where the comment section is. And if you've never commented on any of my projects, you will have to, it's not really sign in. I think you put your name and maybe an email address, and that's to ensure that you're a real person. We don't do anything with those email addresses. You don't subscribe to my newsletter with those email addresses. You just sort of prove you're a human. Okay, I painted the inside of mine because I want the little figure to show up. So the inside of my, let me show you on the one I've got partially completed. So the little figure will show up in front of it. And I painted it black, and I'll show you why in a minute. So this is the house. These are all the score lines of the house. And I'd done a bigger doghouse years ago, but it's a little more complicated because it is bigger. So this is much easier to make. It's a one-piece pattern. And then these are overlays. So I'm going to have a red doghouse, and I'm going to cut these so that it looks like siding. And that's why I painted it black. So I've got a front, a back, two side pieces. And then for the roof, there are two versions of the roof. There's one without holes. So if you just want the, I'm going to poke out this little piece of cardboard out of the way. So if you want to hang your ornament, use the roof piece with the holes in it. But if you don't, if you just want it to stand, then just use the plain one. Okay, Trina says she's running late. There's no running late for coming to see the video, to being a part of the community. No problem. Whenever you get here. I always feel bad when I do a really fast graph and I'm done in like 20 minutes and then people just arrive. I always feel guilty about that. So these are my main pieces. This is the insert. And again, I painted it white so my little dog will show. And I'm going to move these. Those are extra pieces out of the way. I'm trying to do a larger field so I don't migrate off the field when I'm making something. And I just painted these a light pink. I think I'm going to add snow to the doghouse eventually. So I thought I'd just use some kind of light color. So I just barely painted the cardboard. All right, let's go ahead and add the siding. So this is the outside. Remember where I painted the white? That's the inside. Have to have scissors. And while y'all are watching, I'm only going to do maybe the front and sides. So this piece is just slightly smaller so that it's easy to fit on, so it won't interfere with our folds. Okay, so let's just cut it. Yeah, I painted, so I still have paint on my hands. I'm sure y'all aren't surprised at that. And I'm just kind of randomly choosing the size. I'm not worrying about making them entirely equal. Kind of like, you know, you built the doghouse out of scrap wood. Okay, I'm going to set these to one side, and this one goes this way. Okay, so for this, which glue? Barely Art. My Fast Grab is running out. This Quick Dry. Quick Dry is running out, and it's very thick. So I'm going to use this Turbo. This is easier to find these days, but I really think it's just regular tacky glue, and I'll tell you why. Because it is very thin. And wait, let me see if you can see. It's just, you see how it leaves like a string? It's very flexible. It's like regular tacky glue to me. And I did something I try not to do. I forgot. Usually I have a wet paper towel so I can wipe the glue off my fingers. Trusty assistant is busy. Okay, so you can kind of move it around to make it kind of anchor. But you see how the line, how the black gives it a shadow line. So it looks like individual pieces of siding. And I thought about cutting this ahead for you, but I did not. I just think it's easier, rather than run it through the machine, I just cut it out myself. Okay. It is pretty warm here. It's very nice today. It's not hot, but the afternoons are like 60. Ben, could you get me a paper towel with a little bit of water on it? Okay, now I need these curved pieces. This is a little bit like putting a puzzle together. And sometimes you really have to anchor the ends, you know. Thank you. Now can you get me a dry one? I'm sorry. He barely sat down and then I asked for another one. My hands are wet. Thank you. Okay, trying to get this to go down. I don't see any more chats. I wonder if I stalled it or something. There you go. Oh, y'all just watching what I'm doing. Yeah, you're trying to figure it out. I'm just adding the siding. That's one of those details, you know, you could use a colorful paper. If you have wood siding paper, or you could print some. I know, I think Sonia does that a lot. She prints her paper. Then that would solve the problem. And you could still use it and just glue it on top. But you know I like to make siding. I like textural things. And then these little pieces. I didn't cut them exactly even. Well, somebody was talking about being late. But, oh, Ben was late. But y'all are here and this is fun. This is not our job. This is us having fun. That's what I think anyway. Oh, and then one thing I'd recommend if you have a pet you're making this for, or a tribute, you know, you want to remember a pet, is you put the name on it. I'm going to add one of my sister's dogs. She has Max and Gus. This isn't going to work. It's not the right size. I know. So if it's not the right size, remember this is a bit like a puzzle. I'm just going to ooch them down a little bit and do a bigger gap between the siding. Yeah, that works. It kind of looks like a kid built it. Partly because we are kids. I've probably said this before, but there's a saying in the ER is that kids are not little adults, but adults are big kids. That is for sure. Yeah, the bigger doghouse, it's really easy and it is fun. But I thought for an ornament, it just kind of made sense to do a smaller one. Now I think I reduced it, I don't know, 70%. And you can change all of them. People often ask me to list sizes. And I tried to remember this time. So the height is 4 inches. These I think are 1.5, and this is about 2.5. It's about 2.5, it's just under 2.5. Because I reduced it from a larger pattern, it's not exact. Normally I picked pretty round numbers. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to take the time. Yep, let's just do it. These are easy. I pieced the hard one. And let me find which side is best. So when you use cardboard, and and you're not the greatest painter or you don't worry about it, it's always a little bit rough, but you know, it's an outdoor doghouse. A lot of my crafts are, you know, the Halloween crafts are spooky, so I don't always worry about how pretty they are. And the same thing with the doghouse. Oh, Jeannie's going, I assume to see her family in Chicago. I bet Chicago's pretty much always cold at Christmas time. I've gone to conferences there. And one time it was snowing in the wintertime, and I just couldn't believe people weren't going outside to see the snow. But when you're from the South, the snow is a treat. It's not a pain. So I kept sneaking out to go look at all the lake effect snow. It was beautiful. When my sister first moved to Utah, it was snowing one day, and she's like, I don't have to go to work. It's a snow day. And they're like, this is Utah. You go to work on snow days. She couldn't believe it. I don't have to go to work today. They don't have snow days in Utah. In the South, you can't get around. They don't have the, excuse me, excuse me. They don't have the really nice snow plows and stuff. Oh, thank you, Linda. I appreciate that you like my stuff. I really try hard to do different things. I know I probably told you, when I was first starting, I've had some people recommend things to me, and they're like, well, see what's trending and do that, or do something like that. And I'm like, that's not me, and that's not fun. I try to think of something, you know, different and creative, rather than just, you know, jumping on the whatever's most popular bandwagon. It's just kind of important to me. But, you know, truthfully, this is, even though this is my job now, it's never been the job that paid the bills. So I did not have that kind of constraint. You know, I didn't have to worry about feeding my family. But it does make, you know, it does help me a lot. You know, I'm retired now, so that's always an issue. And I love being retired. Gina, that's a funny story about a bad snow. Well, our power often goes out because we don't have snow as much as ice storms. So when we get precipitation and it's very cold, it's more likely to be rain, and it freezes on everything. So we often have our power go out during those storms. My brother lives next door, and he has a wood stove. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, there we go. I've got that one, kind of. Okay, what I'm going to do, because I just put it down, I'm going to add a little tape, because I'm going to put the house together, and I don't want all my siding to pop off. You know, when the hurricane was here, we didn't have internet for a month. That was a pain, for sure. I did videos all over the place. I went to the library one time, maybe twice. I went to a friend's house twice. I mean, it was hard when we had a hurricane go through 2 years ago. 23. It was 24. 24. Okay. See how it's going to pop up when I do that? So I'm just trying to lightly apply my painter's tape. Ordinarily, you know, like if you were a normal person, you would let it dry before you put it together. But since I'm on video, yeah. Amy, sometimes it's hard to understand Ben. His mind is very creative, so you have to figure out what he's talking about. Okay, now I have to move these because I'm going to tape it down. This is a nice painted surface, and it didn't really peel it up. Michelle is near Buffalo. I think Buffalo is like they have crazy snows there, so you could have snow days. Salt Lake is, you know, basically desert, and they can have big snows too, but it's not common, especially recently. I think the mountains catch most of it. Okay, so now I'm going to glue it together, and basically it's a simple pattern. It's kind of my traditional glue along the side glue tab, line it up at the bottom, get your painter's tape, or I brought my clips over. I remembered my clips. I'm just going to put a little clip there. You know, again, making sure it's perfectly lined up at the bottom, but it's hard to hold it right at this point, and that's where I almost always have to use painter's tape. And I mean, it's even hard. This is a small house, but it's even hard to hold it with one hand. Little kitty hairs everywhere. Okay, so I've got that. I'm going to flip these up so I can set it down straight. And then these are the roof flaps, which give the kind of the whole structure some stability. And then I'm applying glue to the inside of the roof tabs. And I will tape them down. I'm actually just going to do one side, meaning one half, and tape it. Just because this is a little fiddly, especially with cardboard. And painter's tape. I'm so happy I'm at home. I was at my sister's, and I don't think they had blue painter's tape. I love blue painter's tape. That's my favorite. Some people have, there's yellow and there's a green, and they are for delicate surfaces. Sometimes I use them, but mostly I love my blue painter's tape. There we go. Okay, so I've got that side down. We've got the sides. Yeah, let me see. No, I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing. Partly because I didn't think about it, but my model doesn't have the red on it, and I just don't like it. I like looking at the red. I just don't like looking at the black piece. Oh, Juanita said she had a snow day in Minnesota. Yeah, I think Minnesota's very good at snow too. So it's got to be pretty harsh for y'all to get a snow day, I figure. Jeannie said her husband calls her the blue tape woman. I probably corrupted her. Turned her into the blue tape woman. It makes paper crafting so much easier. You know? Now we found out, I finally realized that for some things, double-sided tape is the way to go. I mean, I always kind of resisted it, but finally, with the caravan, for example, I realized double-sided tape, going around a curve really helps. Okay, that's not the neatest one. All right, so then next, let me take this one, this sample, and next, oh, I know what I'd do next. I am going to do it on this one. Use this example because I glued this one earlier today. So I'm going to do the insert. So this is a little insert. Like I said, I painted the inside white so that the little dog would show up. And one of y'all, I can't remember who told me, it might have been Kay, said glue one side and kind of let it adhere. And that way you don't have glue on 4 sides that you're trying to get in. I'm just going to wipe up a little bit. You're trying to insert at the same time. So let one side, squeeze it inside the house. Squeeze the insert inside the house. Apply a little pressure to get the back side adhered. And if you leave that a minute, then it's easy and it kind of functions as a hinge. And then you can add the glue here, 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 without, sticking your fingers in the glue all the time. I'm not going to glue it down now. I'm just going to stick it in. But the other advantage of doing the insert is that it holds these 2 pieces down. Most often when I make a house, I have the door up a little bit so there's a continuous piece of cardboard or cardstock here to form the base of the house, the front base. But for a doghouse, I just didn't think it made sense to have a lip. But with these 2 little flaps, it adheres these 2 legs of the front of the doghouse together. So that's how the insert goes. And it really does help. Then you glue the roof on. Now, if you want, the thing I want to show you the most about the roof is you do it just like you do shingles on a real house. You start at the bottom and glue them. And there are 2 different sets of shingles. One has 1, 2, 3 cut lines, and one has, let me find one, 2 cut lines. So you stagger them. It's not that big a deal, but it's it's a detail I like. Put this down, glue one, and glue 2. It's always a little harder to glue cardboard to cardboard. Let's see if this one has 3. That was a 2, this is a 3. But I just staggered, and let me see if you can see. I just like the way it looks. And also it helps if you do a little variation in your painting. I was scrambling today, so I didn't really make the shingles look like wood or have much variation because I was so far behind. I got back from my aunt's yesterday afternoon and just kind of chilled out. Yes, you can. You can pull them up just to, give a little more texture. I think shingles are worth it, but if you don't think so, it's like, I'm not doing that. Just pick a color, or maybe you even have a paper that kind of mimics shingles. Sometimes you can buy papers like that. That was a 2. I need a 3. Well, if it's that warm for Christmas, we should probably get out on our bikes. Except that I'm cook a few things, and I'm like a nervous cook. I always get worried, and I make deviled eggs, mashed potatoes, bread. I always burn the potatoes. Usually I can save them. Okay, so this is really what I wanted to show you. So I've got a hole for the, if you want to hang your ornament, and if you put shingles on it, you're going to have to like poke a hole through it. And let me see. Actually, I'm going to move it up a little bit. If you have a hole punch, it'll probably go that far. I didn't bring the right tool, but I just wanted to warn you that the holes and the shingles overlap. And because you don't apply the shingles at all the same level, I didn't include a shingle with holes, you know, because you might do it different. Okay, so this one, and I'm just going to pull up those. So when I thread the ornament through, it can go through these shingles. The shingles won't stop it from going through. Yeah, I like traditional food. At my uncle's funeral, the church served lunch to the family after the graveside service, and it was all comfort food. But what some people think is comfort food is different. And somebody said, "Did you try the cranberry jello salad?" I'm like, no. But I felt compelled to do it because she was she goes, you know, everybody asked for it. It was so good. I was shocked. You know, we just kind of got away from that kind of stuff. So let's see, how many shingles did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 per side. So, you know, you could, some people overlap a lot more and you would need more. But, so I think there are plenty of shingles in the pattern. Yeah, you know what happens is my mashed potatoes are cooking and they're like all happy, and then I smell burning, and the ones on all the water evaporated, and I just never anticipate that point because I'm trying to make sure my potatoes are cooked enough. So last time only like 1 or 2 on the bottom got burnt, and so I just peeled off the burned part. And then the next mistake I made in my mashed potatoes was I added way too much cream because my cream was frozen. So I thawed it, and then I put the whole thing in. I'm like, why didn't you measure it and just add it a little at a time? So I dumped like a whole container of cream in it. Then it was potato soup. But they were so good. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Sonia's telling us that she gets German food for this Christmas, and I am wondering what that means. Not knowing German food. Ben knows German food. He lived there for a year. But I do not know German food. Well, yes. But the first thing I liked for the German food was the baked items that they had in the breakfast. It was the pain au chocolat. Oh, I love the chocolate croissants. Ooh. They were so good. Yeah, that became a tradition every morning. We had to go find pain au chocolat. Well, Sonia, I'm wondering what's on the the menu for your German food. You must have, oh, I'm looking for a 2. Must have cut out too many of the, there's a 2. 2 cuts rather. Oh no, that's not it. I need a 3. And that's a 2. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting confused. Not a shock. Okay, now I need a 2. And now I need a 3 with 3 cuts. I want a better one. Partly because my string is going to go in the middle, so see where the hole is? Let me show you. There's the hole, and it goes right with this intersection, so I don't have to poke a hole. I'm just going to lift these 2 shingles up. And I don't want it to be too close to, there we go. Right, there is our cute little roof. There's our roof. All right, let's go back to this one. Take off some of my over exuberant painter's tape. That one didn't stick down much. Yeah, I wonder what a German dessert would be. For Christmas dinner. Pork schnitzel sandwiches. Well, that is very interesting. Yes, I come from a family of eaters. One person famously said to me, "Lucy, you are not as fat as I would expect for as much as you eat." I told my aunt this, and she goes, "She's right." I'm very good at eating. I'm going to start exercising. I know. Yeah, it was exactly backhanded. It was a compliment, but oh, now I'm going to have to paint that one. It's stuck too much. But I can repaint it. Repaint both of those. The mat, this is a Cricut cutting mat. It's my nicest. I have others that are much more raggedy, but for video, I saved this one just for video. And when I get glue on it, it comes up real easy. So that's the mat for the video, just the background mat. I don't really cut things on it unless I'm doing that on video. Okay, now my little doghouse is looking better. And I'll touch up those paint. Let's glue our little roof on. Try to make sure. And I think I'm going to add snow because it's a Christmas ornament. I forgot that Snoopy's doghouse was red. Somebody pointed that out. I didn't remember that. I don't think most of the doghouses here are red, but I thought for a Christmas ornament it made sense. Okay, glue up my finger. Wipe it off on my paper towel. And just kind of center it. This is wider than the house itself. The house, I think, was 1.5. And I think this is 2. It might be just 1 3/4. Well, we can measure it. Yeah, it looks like it's about 1 3/4. And I always like a little more overhang in the front. Oh, I should have done my insert again. Yes, Ben does the hard cooking. I do the kind of auxiliary stuff. He does the main stuff. We are Southerners, so we pretty much always have macaroni and cheese, which was not a staple when we were kids, but it is now. Where is that piece? Okay, I can't find the insert. I was going to do it anyway, but then I'm going to glue it to this. And like I said, I chose pink because I didn't want to do green because it's a Christmas ornament and I wanted it to show up on the tree. So, and I want my little dog to show. And this one is stuck to a piece of cardstock. And they do it with water-soluble glue. So if you soak his little feet, these little things will come off. So I'm not going to actually glue it. Okay, I'm going to try to show you. My roof is popping up. Usually when a roof has shingles kind of pre-glued to it, it stays down much better because it's heavier. It's not just a light piece of cardboard or cardstock. I'll try to hold it this way. So this base will be here. And then my little doggy, I'm going to have him like halfway coming out of the house. Won't he be cute? And I'll take a picture. I did write a tutorial, but basically all I did was write the steps. So I haven't put the photos because I didn't have time to actually make the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to switch cameras. Maria says mac and cheese during Lent. That's funny. Okay, switching cameras. Rotating this out of the way. I think it's going to be very cute. And I'll put it in the Facebook group too for those of you who are in the Facebook group. And I will add photos to the tutorial. This is design number 206 in the paper glitter glue website. I included PDFs. I'm trying to remember to get the PDFs done when I get the file in, because I know a lot of people still make stuff out of by hand. We all doing stuff with hand, but make it by hand. And I try to make my patterns a little bit easier to cut out. These are not that hard to cut out if you cut by hand. Okay, so let's see. I think that's it. Next week, I'm kind of, here, let me get your opinion about this. I'm kind of thinking about just doing like a question and answer, sort of setting the tone or sort of figuring out things for next year, what you think is most fun, what you'd like to see me do different, how I can make patterns better. Like I said, I think it was Kay who told me about this insert, how the insert in the bottom of the house really helped. And it especially helps with cardstock houses so that they maintain 90-degree corners, good accurate corners. Okay, so somebody is asking about my back wall. I got from one of the home stores. It was like a display thing. They didn't have it there, but when I looked online, I knew it was there and it said they had them in stock, but they did not have them on display, so I ordered 2 of these, and it's like a giant pegboard. So these pegs, the pegs come out real easy. Oh, this is my junk sweater. I didn't mean to stand up with my junk sweater on. So these pegs come out and you can hang things from them, or you can put them on make a shelf, and they have about 4 or 5 different shelves. So I just put up stuff for display there. And over in the corner is my Advent house thing pattern that I made for Cricut Adventure, like their Christmas version. I need to put it in my shop because you're not allowed to share it for free for a few months. So anyway, I need to put it in the shop. But it was kind of fun. I didn't have a good frame, so I just put it on a canvas, and then I just kind of painted some cardboard around the edge. And then the two people below are Santa, Mrs. Santa, and Santa Claus. And I realized I need a dress for her. She needs to have a real skirt. I don't know what I was thinking when I made it. So yes, this is one I ordered online, and it's kind of my sort of junk sweater that I wear around the house because it's got a lot of pilling. You know, in the South we have trouble with some of, almost looks like pills, the little rough surfaces on sweaters and stuff. But I really like it. Oh, my buildings. Okay, so those are different buildings, and many of them are free on the website. Some are from my my wreath workshop, but let me see. Let me lean the right way. Storybook Cottage. That way. A canal house. Bakery. I think we did that. I'm not sure if we did it for Christmas or if we did the bakery for Valentine's. But anyway, I love the bakery. The bakery's two-sided. Let me find the bakery. I think we did do it for Christmas. I knocked over a deer. Okay, so here's the bakery. We did do it for Christmas last year. One of my favorite details is I made little cutouts that so you can make like little ornaments. And then we filled our Santa mug, and I bought some little dishes. So anyway, but that's our bakery from last year. I will look it up and put the link in the bottom so you can see the bakery. Deer on the Cricut. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, Mrs. Santa needs a longer skirt. I need to modify that. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, and so Maria said she made Christmas book earrings. That's very cool. Yeah, I like that. And I did do a Christmas banner. I'm doing a banner for an event that's coming up. But also, this year I want to make a calendar, a craft calendar for the 1st of January for the whole year, so you can kind of anticipate when we're going to have an Easter contest, the Halloween contest. When I do my Spooktacular, I'm going to try to do a Christmas event next year, and just kind of what goals are, and see what you guys want, because I mean, that's what's been the most fun for me is interacting with you guys. And I didn't expect that we could do it this well on YouTube. Just you and me reading your comments and stuff. And many of you are active in the Paper Houses, the Paper Glitter Glue Facebook group. And I just didn't expect to have what I feel like are real friendships through this medium. But I really enjoy it. Okay, well, I'm going to go. I actually took up a lot of time today. I thought this was going to be like, boom, boom, done. Oh, I'm sorry, 20 minutes, bye. But it took longer than I expected. So I'm so happy you joined me. And I will see you next week where we talk about what we want for for our creative sides for 2026. Okay, all righty. Well, y'all take care. And, don't work yourself too hard getting ready for Christmas. Just let it be fun and joyful. So, okay, yeah, Merry Christmas to all of y'all. Thank you for being here. Okay, bye.